LiAngelo Ball was once a key figure in the famous Ball family, sharing the spotlight with his brothers, Lonzo and LaMelo, as part of a high school basketball dynasty. His scoring ability and physical dominance at Chino Hills promised a bright future, with some expecting him to follow in his brother's footsteps to NBA stardom. Yet LiAngelo's basketball career has unraveled, with poor decisions, an over-reliance on his high school strengths, and missed opportunities. These horrific qualities have left him struggling to prove he belongs on a professional court. But just how did a once promising talent suddenly self-destruct? LiAngelo Ball was a key part of the famous Chino Hills high school basketball team, where he played alongside his brothers, Lonzo and LaMelo. This team was nearly unstoppable, often labeled one of the best high school basketball teams ever. LiAngelo stood out as the leading scorer, averaging 27 points per game while playing with his brothers, and over 30 points when they weren't on the court. His ability to use his strength to overpower defenders and score in transition made him an essential part of their success. However, LiAngelo's playing style depended heavily on his physicality and cherry-picking easy shots, rather than developing a more complete game. While this approach worked well in high school, it didn't prepare him for higher levels of basketball. Unlike Lonzo and LaMelo, who improved as playmakers and defenders, LiAngelo focused on scoring but failed to address his weaknesses, especially on defense. The comparisons to his brothers were constant and difficult to escape. Lonzo was a highly regarded 5-star recruit known for his elite passing and leadership, while LaMelo, despite being younger, gained attention for his creativity and potential. In contrast, LiAngelo was a 3-star recruit seen as the least skilled of the three. Scouts doubted whether his game could translate to college or professional basketball, and he lacked the versatility that made his brothers stand out. This dynamic created what some called middle child syndrome for LiAngelo. While Lonzo and LaMelo were celebrated as future NBA stars, he struggled to get the same recognition. The spotlight on the Ball family often made his shortcomings more noticeable, adding pressure and fueling skepticism about his potential. Despite these challenges, LiAngelo's scoring ability and physical presence gave him a chance to prove himself. His time at Chino Hills showed glimpses of what he could achieve if he worked to expand his skills. Unfortunately, as he transitioned to the next stage of his career at UCLA, cracks began to form. His decisions and lack of growth would soon overshadow his high school success. LiAngelo Ball's college basketball journey took a disastrous turn before it even began. During UCLA's preseason international tour in China, LiAngelo and 2 teammates were caught stealing Louis Vuitton sunglasses. The incident caused an international uproar, with the players narrowly avoiding jail time due to diplomatic intervention, including efforts by then-President Donald Trump. As a result, LiAngelo was suspended for the entire season. Rather than waiting out the suspension and working to rebuild his career, he left UCLA, effectively ending his college basketball prospects. This scandal was a major blow to LiAngelo's development and reputation. College basketball is often a critical stepping stone for players to refine their skills and gain exposure to NBA scouts. By leaving UCLA, he lost access to high-level competition and coaching that could have helped him address the weaknesses in his game. The incident also reinforced negative stereotypes about LiAngelo, casting him as immature and lacking the discipline needed for a professional basketball career. In an attempt to salvage his basketball future, LiAngelo joined his younger brother LaMelo to play professionally in Lithuania. However, this move proved to be another misstep. While LaMelo was still young and developing, LiAngelo was expected to perform well against seasoned European players. Instead, his performances were inconsistent, and he struggled to make a significant impact, averaging just 12 points per game. LiAngelo failed to meet expectations, and his shortcomings became even more apparent in a professional setting. Adding to the chaos, LeVar Ball, the family patriarch, frequently clashed with the team's coaching staff. After a series of disagreements, LeVar pulled both LiAngelo and LaMelo out of the team mid-season, further disrupting their development. This decision effectively cut short LiAngelo's first real opportunity to prove himself on the professional stage. Rather than gaining valuable experience, he left Lithuania with little to show for his efforts. The combination of the China scandal and the failed stint in Lithuania marked the beginning of a troubling pattern for LiAngelo: missed opportunities and setbacks. Instead of focusing on improving his game, he was frequently caught in controversies and decisions that derailed his career. These early missteps also began to cement the narrative that LiAngelo's basketball journey was more about the Ball family's brand than genuine talent or dedication. LiAngelo Ball's basketball journey took another questionable turn with the launch of the Junior Basketball Association, JBA, a league created by his father, LeVar Ball. The JBA, marketed as an alternative to college basketball, aimed to give young players a platform to showcase their talent while getting paid. However, the league quickly became a laughingstock. With its low level of competition, comically inflated stats, and poor organization, it did little to enhance LiAngelo's credibility as a serious professional prospect. In the JBA, LiAngelo put up astronomical numbers, winning the league MVP and regularly scoring over 50 points per game. However, these performances were dismissed by critics as meaningless because the games lacked legitimate competition. The league itself was filled with unknown players and failed to attract serious attention from scouts. Instead of helping LiAngelo grow as a player, the JBA only added to the perception that his basketball career was more about family branding than genuine skill or potential. After the JBA folded, LiAngelo faced an uphill battle to prove himself. He eventually found an opportunity in the NBA G League with the Greensboro Swarm, the Charlotte Hornets affiliate. Early on, he showed flashes of promise. In his debut game, LiAngelo scored 26 points, hitting 6 three-pointers and giving fans hope that he could carve out a niche as a sharpshooter. His strong build and smooth shooting stroke suggested he could become a reliable 3-and-D player, a valuable archetype in today's NBA. Unfortunately, these glimmers of potential were short-lived. LiAngelo's inconsistency quickly became apparent as his performances dropped off. His shooting percentages plummeted, and he struggled to maintain his early success. By the end of his stint with the Swarm, he was shooting just 39% from the field, far below what's expected for a player looking to make an NBA roster. His inability to adapt to the G League's physicality and speed raised questions about whether he truly had the skills to succeed at a professional level. LiAngelo's time with the Swarm ended when he was eventually waived, marking yet another setback in his career. Despite the initial excitement surrounding his debut, he failed to sustain momentum or address the weaknesses in his game. His struggles in the G League mirrored the issues that had plagued him throughout his career: inconsistency, a lack of well-rounded skills, and an over-reliance on his family's name to create opportunities. The G League experience was a critical point in LiAngelo's journey, as it represented one of his final chances to prove himself against legitimate competition. While he had moments of brilliance, his inability to deliver consistently ultimately sealed his fate. This chapter of his career highlighted the gap between his potential and his actual performance, leaving him without a clear path forward in professional basketball. LiAngelo Ball's basketball career hasn't unfolded as many once hoped, and the reasons behind his struggles stem from a mix of limited skills, questionable motivation, and harmful family influence. These root causes provide a clear picture of why LiAngelo failed to reach the heights of his brothers. LiAngelo's reliance on strength and shooting has always defined his game, but it has also limited him in the fast-evolving world of basketball. While his ability to shoot and score in high school made him a standout, his game lacked the versatility needed to excel at higher levels. In today's NBA, players in LiAngelo's role are expected to contribute on both ends of the court. They need to defend well, move effectively without the ball, and adapt to different playing styles. LiAngelo, however, has struggled to meet these demands. Unlike many successful players in similar roles, he hasn't developed key skills like playmaking, defense, or off-ball movement. Players like Klay Thompson or Danny Green, who excel as sharpshooters, also bring consistent defensive intensity and situational awareness to their teams. LiAngelo, on the other hand, has remained one-dimensional, limiting his value to professional teams. Growing up in a wealthy, high-profile family may have also dulled LiAngelo's competitive edge. With the spotlight on the Ball family and plenty of opportunities handed to him, LiAngelo didn't face the same struggles as many other players. His path bypassed traditional development routes like playing in college or competing in legitimate overseas leagues to hone his craft. The comfort of fame and fortune appears to have hindered his motivation to improve. In professional sports, hunger and drive often separate great players from average ones. For LiAngelo, his lack of urgency to refine his game and work on his weaknesses has stood out as a key factor in his career struggles. Lastly, the influence of LeVar Ball has been a double-edged sword. While LeVar's larger-than-life personality brought attention to LiAngelo and created opportunities, it also added pressure and disrupted his career development. LeVar's decision to pull LiAngelo from UCLA after the shoplifting scandal, move him to Lithuania, and later involve him in the ill-conceived JBA League are examples of moves that hurt more than helped. Instead of allowing LiAngelo to grow within proven systems, these unconventional choices left him unprepared for the demands of professional basketball. LiAngelo Ball's basketball career has been overshadowed by his family's fame, raising questions about his talent and work ethic. While his brothers Lonzo and LaMelo have carved successful NBA careers, LiAngelo is often viewed as someone who benefited from nepotism rather than earning his place through hard work. His reputation and legacy are more tied to viral moments and his family name than to actual accomplishments on the court. LiAngelo's journey has been closely linked to the Ball family's influence, particularly that of his father, LeVar Ball. Many fans and analysts believe that his opportunities, whether with the UCLA Bruins, in Lithuania, or in the G League, came not from his own abilities but from the media spotlight created by his family. Critics argue that his place in the basketball world has been handed to him rather than earned. This perception has led to harsh criticism from the basketball community. Analysts often point out that LiAngelo's skills are average at best for a professional player, yet he received chances that more deserving prospects never had. Being labeled as the weakest link among the Ball brothers has only amplified this scrutiny, further hurting his public image. When comparing LiAngelo to other players with similar skill sets, the gap in performance becomes even more apparent. Lesser-known prospects, who lack the Ball family's fame, have outperformed him through sheer determination and better use of their opportunities. These players work tirelessly to adapt to the demands of professional basketball, showing versatility and growth. LiAngelo, by contrast, has struggled to break out of his one-dimensional role as a shooter. His inability to develop as a defender or playmaker has made him less appealing to teams. While his peers made sacrifices and took traditional paths to success, LiAngelo's unconventional route, largely influenced by his family, has not paid off. Today, LiAngelo Ball's basketball career is remembered more for his viral moments than for any professional success. Clips from his high school days at Chino Hills and games in Lithuania dominate his legacy, making him a nostalgic figure for basketball fans rather than a serious professional. His highlights, while entertaining, are a reminder of his untapped potential and how he failed to transition those skills to higher levels of play. LiAngelo Ball's basketball career may seem nearly over, but there is still a slim chance for redemption. As his brother Lonzo suggested, playing overseas could offer him a fresh start. Many players have used international leagues to revive their careers, proving their worth through consistent effort and dedication. If LiAngelo commits to such a path, it could allow him to rebuild his reputation and improve his game. For LiAngelo to salvage his career, discipline must become a priority. He needs to focus on improving his fitness, refining his skills, and addressing the gaps in his game, particularly his defensive abilities and versatility. Accepting lower-tier opportunities overseas would require humility, but it's a crucial step in proving that he's serious about basketball. Unlike in the past, he can no longer rely on his family's name or brief flashes of potential to secure opportunities. Playing internationally would expose him to different styles of play, offering valuable experience that could help him grow as a player. By dedicating himself to the process, he could show scouts and coaches that he's willing to put in the work to succeed. Whether LiAngelo will take this path remains uncertain. His past struggles with discipline and development cast doubt on his ability to embrace the grind needed for a comeback. However, with the right mindset and support, he could still turn his story around. If he chooses not to act, it's likely that his basketball career will fade further into irrelevance. LiAngelo Ball's basketball journey has been a roller coaster of hype, mistakes, and missed chances. From his early dominance to a career marked by unfulfilled potential, his story underscores how talent and opportunity must be paired with discipline and hard work. The question remains, will LiAngelo embrace the changes needed to rewrite his legacy, or will his career fade as another example of squandered potential? Let us know your thoughts down below, and don't forget to watch our next video shown on screen.